happy, whatever. Just be happy. So excited. I just wanted to had so much energy running through my vessel of allness, and I just wanted to do a really quick video. I don't know, every time I say that, they always end up being like 50,000 million hours long. But I felt so much really positive, loving, happy, freaking energy that I just had to share it. Doing a whole new like level of like ascension, like it's like here now. And I'm gonna do like an open celestial fun for all. I called it my open celestial Orpheum, just where the celestial beings and my ancestors and my teams and all of the beings that are on my celestial scope of range of channeling, I'm going to see what I can pull in. I also know too that there is going to be energies that are, as we say, crossed on. Because I also, because I operate in all realms, lower, middle, and upper, and because I am walking with some early ancient, like really ancient, big deities, we're going to be pulling in probably beings that have crossed on. Like one time I just channeled Abraham Lincoln. Don't know where that came from because I'm absolutely not into politics whatsoever. I don't know anything about Abraham Lincoln other than the fact that he had something to do with writing the amendments, the rights. So I don't pay attention to any American politics other than the corruption energy that I feel from most of them when I just look at them. So anyways, I don't know what's going to come through. And so we're going to do an open celestial channel, but I had some really fun. I'm just going to throw a few 5 minutes of beauty, and I don't get paid for any of the stuff that I bring on, but I just, I had a couple of really fun holiday little specials. I got this at MAC because I love MAC makeup. So if they want to get in touch with me for, to do a special little makeup thing, I would love it. I got this really nice little bronzer. Super, super nice. Just really, really soft and gentle. It's very, I like it's like kind of barely noticeable, but it's got some glitter. And then I also got this beautiful little green, because my eyes are green. It's really pretty. And then I got this, oh yeah, some green mascara. Can you tell it's all about green? Too funny. Oh my gosh, too funny. And they gave me this. Those are the colors that I use, gold and then green. And then they gave me this little bag to go with it, which is really cute. And then they gave me something that's at the bottom. I don't know what it is. I haven't opened it yet. What is this? Oh, so it's like a mini mascara. Lush voluminizer. But I usually don't use any other mascara. I mean, I try it, but I don't use it other than this because these are the only mascaras that I have found. It's L'Oreal. I've used L'Oreal forever and a day. I've tried just about every mascara under the sun, and I always go back to L'Oreal because it rarely, puts the little black things that usually most women find with their mascara. It never leaves any residue. It goes on so easy, and I don't use waterproof at all. I don't like waterproof makeup. And yeah, so just some really fun holiday stuff. So I really like that. So that was my fun little gift. And because I'm all about glitter and sparkles, it has a nice little glitter bag. Isn't that pretty? They gave that to me as a little gift. I like the girls that work there. They know what they're talking about. Usually when I go shopping, I always introduce myself to the store staff because I really like connecting with people. And the other day when I was out, I ran into one of the ladies that I used to style. So it was really fun because I love fashion. I love styling. I'm available for private styling appointments if anybody wants to get in touch with me. I know a lot about brands as far as what brands are kind of on the trend. There's a really fun for 2024. There's lots of fun stuff coming out for youth, a lot more youthful fashion clothes, and it's going to be really dressy. So it's really nice to see divine feminine and the goddess energies are coming back, really defining the dress. So dresses are going to be coming back for 2024, and women are going to be, we're going to be dressing up a little bit more. So I'm so happy to see that, because where I live, everybody dresses in Lululemon, and it's okay for a couple of days a week, but not everything that you wear. You shouldn't be dressing up in Lululemon every day of the week. It's okay that you do, but you're meant to play with textures. You're meant to play with fabric. You're meant to play with different colors and different seams and different stitchings, different fabrics you're meant to touch and feel good in and feel cozy in, feel dressed up in, feel crisp, feel very lined. I love to play with different textures and fabrics, and stitching is really important to me. I'll usually go for stitching more than I will what's trendy. If it doesn't have a good stitch, I won't buy it. I don't care how trendy it is. It's got to have a good stitch, and the fabric has to be there. And so that's why it's sometimes better waiting until you have the money to buy a really nice pair of trousers. The ones that I put on my Facebook page, it's called The Page, Paige, and they're very expensive, but I bought a pair of their women's trousers, amazing fabric, for like $12.99, and they're a $300 pair of trousers. So you can find them. You just have to go to the the either outlet stores or Winners or HomeSense. Sometimes they sell those from the discounted stores, or it's the very last end of the season sales. So you can get really great fabrics for really minimal. And then know your fabrics, know your brands. There's a couple of brands that I really like, Zara, because they do have better fabrics and better stitchings. So fabric is really important to me. And there's a lot of fabrics I just won't buy just because I can't stand the fabric. So it's really about, your sense of eye for fabric and for brands, and really finding those things that fit well for you and what works for you, and then remaining and staying in your budget. But you can do a lot of great things with great style. And this year it's going to be dressy. So we're going to be playing up a lot of the frills, the florals, really tapered dresses. Even younger, the youth are, dressing up. They have a beautiful youth brand. I can't remember the name of it. Youth, something to do with youth fashion, and, girls really allowing themselves to play with very feminine fabrics and very feminine chic appearance and apparel. And so it's bringing our abilities to play with all genders and all aspects of ourselves, because I think over the last 5 years, and I've heard so many people comment on it as well, that we've had a lot of breaking of the gender, if you will, and it's meant to be that way. But it's been very male dominated. Girls dressing a lot like boys, and that's okay. There's no judgment on any of it. I love dressing in trousers and then playing with different bodices and different blouses on top, so that you can maintain that balance of energy, because everything is energy. And then you have your very tomboy days like I do, whether that's a preferred word, I don't know, but that's what it's just always meant that for me. And it doesn't bother me about the words, because I transcend definitions. But it's really nice to play with fabrics and play with stitching and play with apparel, so that you can play with those genders, and those energies that you're allowed to flow within, and then be okay with it. State your intentions to play with fabric, to play with colors. Give yourself challenges to play with colors. It's really meant to stretch you and stretch who you are. So welcome to our video. We are going to do an open celestial. We're meant to open up to our new celestial teams. There's going to be a lot of changes over the next couple of weeks, really pulling out a lot of the really lower, denser timelines that we've all had to move through. As we're moving through ascension, it's important for everybody to know, which we kind of tend to put to the back burner. Our planet is moving through a sector of space through which every sector of space has its density of energy, because they're from the multi-galactic experiences we all carry in our DNA. We carry them in our fields, we carry them in our soul's blueprint to bring forward when the time is right. Your higher self and your teams and your guides activate when you're meant to move through those really dense energies, because you have to have the opposite gifts and skills on that lighter side of your infinity symbol to be able to deal with those really darker energies. And those really darker energies has a lot to do with galactic wars, galactic enslavement, AI, Lyran. A lot of stuff happened in the early Lyran days, with the felines. There's a lot of history, galactic stories about enslavement, about being forced into certain roles and agendas of, domination, right? So we've moved through a lot of really dense space as a planetary body. Gaia is also moving through in her soul's blueprint into a new sector of space, because we are all moving in this multiverse triad of ascension. So we're pulling in higher vibrating energies as a planetary galactic experience. We're always fed cosmic codes. We're always fed light codes. We're always fed solar codes. And they have to be engaged with the multiverse, because there are lower vibrating energies that will just be pulled away and sent back to source for reunification and re-embodiment with source, and then brought back into new codes. So there's always a filtering out of the lowest vibrations, and then there's always a calling in of higher vibrations. Thank you, Spirit. And in those calling in of higher vibrations, there is the harmonizations of all three universes. And so just as we're all reaching up for higher experiences, we're calling out those dimensional energies that are lower, because the subconscious is now becoming conscious, which means that everything that you had suppressed and depressed as fears, childhood wounding, psychologies, or anything in your psyche, as we're moving through this sector of space, because everything is micro macro, it's holographic, you as the cell of Gaia, you as the cell of God, you as the cell of your soul, you get to experience whatever is in your multiversal soul aspect, so that you can understand that you're calling in and harmonizing those soul fragments on the highest level, so that you can also transmute those soul fragments on the lowest level. And they're sometimes very challenging to deal with, but you can. So a lot of the stuff that's being purged from the collective are those subconscious soul experience of enslavement, of domination, of fear-based programs where we have been suppressed and we've chosen it. So everybody is going through a period right now where God, again, is giving everyone this new cycle of, who are you, what do you exist within, what exists within you, to wake up who you are as this multiverse experience of a grander being that you are, because you are micro macro. You belong to all planets. You have DNA from all planets. You have aspects within the multiverse that you will remember as you continue calling in and playing as light. The more that you resist and suppress who you are as a multiverse being, the harder the towers will fall, because you're not meant to stay stuck in that density. We are moving as a planetary body. That planetary body is micro macro to your own individual soul, what you chose to assist in transmuting for your lineage, for your collective, and for your soul family, because you are connected with your soul family and all your guides. Every single person here on earth has guides and soul family and lineage that they are here to transmute. We call them lineage curses or hexes, but they're just very thick, dense experiences or patterns that you've chosen to transmute. Whether it be subjugation, whether it be dogmatic enslavement, really forcing yourself to believe in a certain ideology when it's really not serving you and it's holding you back. And those things will be what everybody has to face, because there will be borders that will be coming down, boundaries that will be coming down, and it will leave everybody a lot of space, is what they said. We have to remove those densities so that light can get in and start breaking up everything that was held so compact and so subjugated and so suppressed and depressed. When everything is allowed to flow, it's not going to feel good at first, because you do have to face those shadows through which the only way you stay in those suppressions is through fear. Fear of being absolutely infinitely open and available, and you're allowing that flowing experience. So look at energy in three ways, right? It's open and receiving, which means your absolute trust with God. Detached from everything, you'll always be cared for, you'll always be loved. That allows everything that is meant to come forward to be faced, to be transmuted, to be accepted as your own again, to be reharmonized as a higher belief. That is the allowance and the movement of all that you are as a multiverse being, because it's going to continue. Light is going to continue. Light will continue to accelerate. Your bodies will continue to transmute, which means you're going to have days where you're going to be watching a sad commercial and you just start crying. You have to release those emotions. Oftentimes, too, when I was first awakening, is that you manifest injuries, even if they're simple or grand injuries, but you manifest injuries because you want to be able to process that energy, that healing energy. You want to process that pain that you had to release. But sometimes people live in such a turned off life of their intuition and their suppressed emotions that they don't allow themselves to clear, and they don't allow themselves to cry. So that's when you manifest yourself in injury, or you manifest yourself having an accident, or you manifest somebody dying to produce those energies of healing that wound with that person, or healing that appreciation of that person. You manifest things in whatever way your soul will get your attention. And it's all purposeful. It's all meant to allow you that deeper knowing that God is always with you, that you are always the God of your experience, and that God is always asking you to go within and truly know what is important, truly know what is valuable. Because the things that we focus on in the outer superficial reality, it's not the all that we are. It's meant to be a part of the cherry on top. It's a part of the physical experience, but we're meant to know ourselves as vast souls beyond religion. We're meant to know ourselves and as vast as we're meant to be as far as a species. We're multi-species experiences having an earthly bound, co-creative new beginning. And we're meant to see ourselves in much more profound ways and really play with that creative sacred child within, allowing that sacred child to come forward and be expressive, to be exploratory, and excavate those energies and issues that need to be really faced. And people won't get around it. And so you're going to manifest those experiences to allow you to sort that energy out. You got to bring it forward and sort the energy out, and don't give yourself any suppression or worry about what others think about you when you're moving through it. Be open and be honest and have mature conversations and spiritually awake conversations to say, I'm in the process of ascension, which means that cyclically I'm going to be going through things that I need to process. That's what ascension is. It's a very sacred process. You're reuniting yourself with your soul. You're reuniting yourself with your vastness of the multidimensionality that you are. You're choosing to reunite yourself with God and be godly. That's what ascension is. Every unification cycle of ascension, every cyclical process of ascension, you are reunifying with God. You are becoming more and more source. You are accepting yourself as more and more source. That's why there is the equal shadow. The shadow is there to allow you a full acceptance and radical acceptance of all that you are as source. There's never just one side of ascension. And that's why a lot of the woke community over the past 5 or 6 years, thank you, Holy Spirit, a lot of energies here today. That's why the woke community of the past 5 or 6 years is really changing, because it's been so overly not really understanding ascension, not really understanding most people that talk about ascension. They can speak from their experience. Most aren't. Most are simply copying and just saying woke verbiage. Very few people online, there's getting more and more, which is nice to see, but very few people on their channels are speaking about their real life experiences, because they still haven't been shown. They're still not comfortable. They still don't know how to go through their own transmutation process. They're not really that intimate with who they are as spirit. They're really not that intimate with their guides. Being intimate with your guides is a 24/7 conversation. It's a 24/7 amalgamation. It's a 24/7 enmeshment. Whether you're with Gaia, whether you're going through the park, whether you're having a swim in the ocean, whether you're talking with your children, those are all source experiences. And so being 100% engaged is going to become a more and more, a different level of wokedness, if you will, in 2024. 2024 will be a profound year for manifestation. We're going to be manifesting ourselves as a higher vibrational species, and we're going to be seeing, sensing, feeling, and experiencing what is truth, what is not truth, what is divine sacredness, what is divine creativity. There's going to be a huge, huge, huge focus on creativity, because it's the creative manifestation. That's what 8 is. It's the manifesting of the infinity. So that means that it's going to be immediate. Whatever it is you're focusing on, whatever it is you're intending, that is going to be the immediate manifestation. And remember, you can't put your focuses on manifesting other people. You're there to manifest just the purity of joy, who you are. So when you're focusing on manifesting joy, I'm going to manifest joy today. What does that look like? Spirit will show you. Your guides will show you, because what you thought might have been joy last year or last week is not going to be your joy now, because you're a more manifested soul version of yourself. You're a fractal experience that's now harmonized 180 soul fragments because you've been awake for 8 years. You'll be surprised at how much soul fragments that 51% is a lot, right? And if you've had a lot of karma this lifetime, you've got that 51% plus, to clear and harmonize. But it's possible. But what it requires is that you now take ownership of who you are now, and that now impression of who you are, and returning back to now, and allowing yourself in every moment to know your true story, not taking on another's true story, but your story. Right? Your soul's story, your experience of who you are and what you've been through is your golden ticket. Another story is not your story. Your story is why you're here. Your story is to say, when you lay in bed at night, and you absolutely do, because I'm Spirit is showing me, when you lay in bed at night and you're having those inner conversations, you're talking with God. That is when you're most godly. When you're sitting in the house and the kids have gone to school and you're having that 5 minutes of meditation, that 10 minutes of meditation, or you're making a meal, those inner conversations are your conversations with God. That conversation with God never shuts off, just so that you know. Your inner dialogue is with God. Most people have not connected that, but it is. And when you become entangled and enmeshed with that joy, absolutely, God starts speaking to you. There is the omnipresent field that is God. God is all aspects of life. The field that you look out, and I see an ocean, that field that I'm looking out to is the field energy of God. I'm speaking to the field energy of God, and that field energy is returning back to me. When I'm in my bed at night and there seems to be nobody there, everything there is energy. It's spirit. It's God. It's my celestials. It's the angels in other realms that don't go to sleep because they're 24/7 spirit. Everything is God. Everything is God. 2024 will be your magnification of you knowing that, acting it, being it, and living it. That's your story. Who are you? So don't put out another person's story, because that's not you. You're going to continue to create towers for yourself, because God's going to say, that's not you. We're going to give you another tower until you go deeper within. Who are you? And that's what we've brought forward on our channel. I'm a hybrid. I'm a crystal. I'm a conduit. I'm things that people don't even know words for. And so the catalytic opposite of that, so that I could grow and be my most fullest, is to have those that don't understand me, and those that don't want me to be understood, and those that don't want me to be here, because I call out truths that are ready to be called out and culled and pulled. They don't want those called out because they're in that, and they don't want to have to face those aspects of who they are. But the only way that they're going to heal, and why God placed me before them, is for that to be seen and heard and known, because a deeper version of them is waiting to be excavated. But they've denied it. They've put it off. They've joined groups to make me go away. They've joined groups to make the spell casting stop me from being me. Human testing to stop me from being me, and human testing to make the God in me go away. But it's not. They'll just be another light worker placed before them. These energies will be pulled up. We have to face the underground. And the underground is each and every one of us on this planet. We have to face what we've allowed to be okay, because it has not been honoring and sacred. It's been absolutely disgraceful as to what we've allowed ourselves to think is okay human behavior. It's not. And another thing that they showed me too is it's going to lead us a lot to this whole new genre of exploration, because many of you are going to be tapping into it, and many of you will find that to be very exciting. I don't know what it's going to be called. It'll be whoever wants to explore that. I'll probably be a part of, helping the healing process. I mean, there's so much to do with healing and expansion of new modalities, but there's going to be a whole new genre of psychology, psychiatry, 5D counseling, and it's going to be vibratory based, and it's going to just knock the socks off of everything we've ever known. Books are going to be written like crazy about this new experience that we are becoming vessels of psyche. Each of us are psyche balls, if you will, these psyche crystals. And these psyche crystals can take us in an inordinate amount of versions of God source experience. Not to see it as what has been labeled in 3D as disorders, but to see it as aspects of the soul that we can pull in. But why it's so important that grounding and now impression, which we've been talking about in our classes. And if you want an appointment with me, if you've had any mental disorders or mental diagnoses, and if you're an empath or highly psychic, especially the children, make sure that the children are practicing their calling in of their soul fragments and grounding. And that now impression is going to be really important as we continue to accelerate, because those soul aspects are very temperamental. And if you're not tempered, if you're not a tempered person, and if you have a very negative environment, if you have a very toxic environment, dysfunctional environment, it will be very hard for that highly sensitive psychic person to feel balanced, to feel healthy, to feel supported. And that's one of the reasons why I left, because I'm one of those people. I'm very psychic. And when people are doing spell work and human testing on you and all that bullshit, you need to be able to absolutely make sure that your environment is safe and healing for you. And because you do have a lot of gifts that you're meant to use those gifts in those psyche experiences to help the greater collective. Because again, we're going to be taking this whole area and genre into a whole new scope in understanding of 3 predominant areas, but we're going to rewrite old psychology energies. A lot of the understanding of what psychology is on the basis of behavior is going to shift and change, because it's not the environment in and of itself which plays a factor, but it is the psyche akash of the patterns of the psyche that have not been harmonized to a new state of now. You can say healed in many different ways. Healed can just be harmonizing a new version of a song or a note, if you will. Give it to you as an example and analogy. When you're making a soup, there are many harmonies that go into making a soup. Many different spices, many different vegetables, many different things you put in a soup. That's what you are. You're the growing soup of God. The soup of God that's also outer is also your inner that you're having to harmonize, but not have the outer become you. You are affecting the outer. So that is why that now impression of who you are affecting the all is so much more powerful than allowing the all to just keep swaying you. And that's when people feel scattered and disoriented, because they don't know about their ascension cycle. They're not trained in their now impression. And that's where the psyche and the psychology arenas must be changed. So again, they were giving far too much importance, because how we've been taught from day one, as Lord Sananda showed me, is that we become a factor of our environment. No, we're the ones that are the light within the environment. We affect the environment. So we've had it backwards much of the time. And another aspect, go back there, Spirit, is again the sociological, social factors and the dogmatic factors of how the brain in and of itself has been demented, if you will. And we said in our last video, retarded into its aspects of, give me a word that we can use for that, Spirit. So it's actually, they're saying, you've been desocialized, which a lot of these fear programs, whether it be social or dogmatic or educational, and even our when I was reading some of the psychology stuff, it just seemed so archaic to me. Like I looked at it and go, "Are you kidding me?" I was starting to rewrite a lot of this, or the psychology. I have these little things. I'll show you. We all use them in school, right? The little plexis. And so a lot of the things that we based our psychology in our teachings and our learnings, our education, our college, right? We've learned all these things, but we're going to be writing all of it, because it's not been based on that multidimensional aspect of who we are as a soul. We're so very vast and we're so very profound. And those that are psychic and those that are empaths, especially if you're in a very toxic, degrading environment, you start taking on those energies of others. And if you're not clearing your energy, you're not clearing your bodies. And then again, if you're using your life force without good responsibility, all of those things play a factor in who you're becoming as an energy being. It's like that soup becomes very murky and mucky, because you're becoming the soup of everybody around you, and you don't necessarily want that. right? That's where claiming your power, claiming your voice, claiming who you are as a being of light, and really start clearing your environment out, clearing your closet out, clearing your fridge out, you know, clearing everything that just doesn't fit. You know, it just doesn't fit anymore. You know, clear your subscription list out of old, videos that just don't vibrate with you anymore. Clear all that stuff out, because it's energy sitting in your space. So over the next week or two, until 2023 is over, really do a clearing out of what kind of ingredients do you want in your soup for 2024, your manifestation soup, because it's going to include your physical, your mental, your emotional, your spiritual, and your psychic. So what is going to be affecting your psychic abilities, you absolutely must know now, and it's a precursor. And I said this last year. Go watch my videos from this time last year. And then the councils told me this last year before at this time. What and how you will know yourself as a psychic multidimensional being will be tenfold what it was last year. So it's going to be very paramount. It's going to be very important that, again, our channel be shared, our offerings be shared, because people are not going to understand. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. There's lots of little fairy elementals. I called the fairies and the elementals in on these videos. Thank you, fairies and elementals. I have lots of fairy energy in my DNA. Thank you, fairies. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you. So we're just playing with them right now. And so it's going to be really important that you understand that you're going to be awakening as a very vast psychic person in different ways, because again, our psychic abilities are shifting and changing, just as mine are. So we're going to do a little psychic channel, but we wanted to close that off about the psychology. So we talked about the environment, we talked about social dogmatic, and then what was the other one? Oh, so that's wonderful. And then we're going to talk about that again. My gosh. Yeah, I wish I had a, I need to do webinars for like universities, because these topics and discussions are so vast and wide, and they just need to be recorded and then studied later. Because there's so much that we're going to be, it's like downloads that are like libraries long. That's how a conduit feels. When I'm getting a download, it's like a whole section of a library. That's how big the information is. So I can't wait to get recording these, and I need that backup support space, if you will, because people can really, those that are really interested in those genres or energies or eras or areas of study, if you will, they're showing me, and which is I've felt this last 2 weeks, because I'm always going through things before the collective goes through it, so I can prepare and talk with you guys about it. The celestial Akash vibrations, downloads, is going to part and parcel be equal to that of your psychic abilities to, again, we've talked about in all of our videos how important it is to process and integrate light. When you process and integrate light on a daily basis, you're transmuting, you're processing your ascension cycle, you're keeping up to date with, and why I do a lot of studying, because it's my passion to keep up with higher intellect, higher intelligence, so that I can continue to process light. It might be a 3D process of education, but I'm maintaining that speed of thought. I'm maintaining terminologies. I'll keep what I need to keep, and I'll release the rest, because again, the shifts and changes that are coming, that's part 3 of what we talked about, the celestial and the Akash. Those aspects that are going to be coming online will be your celestial harmonization of what you've activated within your DNA. We called it the DNA allocation in my last class. The soul aspects of who you are as a soul fragment of your whole soul. And again, all of these teachings are only done through me, because I am a conduit, and nobody can expand on what I talk about. You're meant to be fully you in your unique, genuine, authentic experience. There's been no permissions or approvals given for my work. They're only to be given and taught through me, because I'm the one that offers the Christic codes. So if you'd like to get in touch with me, my emails are below, my links are below for donations and webinars and classes. And if you'd like to do creative consulting with me, then I would be looking forward to that for the benevolence of the greater good of of humanity. And those will be the only ones that I will deal with. So universities, colleges, hospitals, those that are looking forward to advance humanity in higher intellect, higher benevolent ways. The councils of light, the systems of light will advise you, will direct you, will guide you when you go in and when you meditate, because the guides and the systems and the councils are going to be working more and more with you, each and every one of you. If you so desire, it's always up to you. You have to get in the elevator and you have to push the button. Those guides and the councils and the systems that you work with are going to be directing and guiding you, because it's always your soul's highest and your best. That's why you have a higher self, to what your highest passion is, what is linked to your DNA, to your Akashic records, to your Akashic backbone, if you will, the soul's blueprint, and why you've chosen to come forward and offer you as the symbol of the heavens, the seed of the heavens, the seed of the garden of the heavens that you are. That's why there has been a big shift of last will be first and first will be last, is because we're meant to be higher vibrational intelligent beings that have the benevolence and the greater good at heart, and not the malevolent, corrupt, nefarious experiences that we've been experiencing. So there is going to be the big shakeup, and there has already been started. We can see it everywhere. But it's important for each and every person to take accountability, to take account, try and make right where they can make right, do everything that you can to clear off everything that you can before the end of 2023. Forgiving debt when you can forgive debt, remove people from your list that are nothing but drama and pain and suffering. Do that clearing out. That's your symbol and your sign to the universe saying, no, I want to be on board for this ride. I'm going to do what I need to do. It has to be equal measure. Spirit will support you equal measure, but you got to do the work. You got to get in the elevator. You got to push the button. Nobody's going to hand ascension to you on a silver platter. You actually have to do the work. And so the other part was that sociological part, to the DNA, to your celestial teams, and they're going to be guiding you. 2024 will be a great, a grander year for the integration of your your work with the celestial teams in your so they're saying, but don't take this as an egoic way, because it's not how it's meant, because these are celestials. It's just the words we have and the words we use. But usually all the words that we have used in our language from up to this point has been very egoically based. So we're going to be rewriting all of our dictions too, because everything is now going to be spiritually based, not egoically based. So they're saying performance-based soul movement. And what did you say? So performance is not anything to do with competition. And that's why we say things that have nothing to do with ego in your dictionary of 3D. Performance means how you move about through life as a soul. How do you move as a soul? Because you're performing as a soul. And performance is a creative-based experience, not as, I'm going to perform the top today, I'm going to be the best today, because that's all ego. So that's where we have to really step out of ego. Thank you. Performance-based as a soul, because you're going to be performing as the soul that you are, to as equal to what you have harmonized, what you have released, what you have let go, what you have healed, what you have detached, what you can show God that you can detach from. You don't need anything. Detachment is going to be huge 2024. Codependency is going to be cleared. You got to clear codependency. You can't go into ascension as a codependent person. You have to heal that codependency. And that's where understanding the whole concepts of what I've put on all of my social platforms is the ascension tree, as that healing tree, the behaviors and the patterns of 3D, the emotional healing of the 4D, and then the 5D, stepping into absolute open allowance. That open allowance is receivership. Because you've done the work of all that you're doing and why you do get to receive, why those blessings are there. You get to walk with God in every moment. The blessings are there because you've done the work to be in absolute open honor, so that you're not walking in fear. You're not walking in resistance. You're not walking in closing down and protecting yourself all the time. You're walking in open receivership, because you're just the flow of source. When you're in the open flow of source, nothing can harm you or touch you, as far as people throwing spell work or hate at you or evil eye. Because you're just open. The unconditional love is so much more profound, and it just bounces off. It just disappears. Those demons that come into movement and come into even contact with somebody of pure unconditional light, they run. The energies of darkness cannot be in the same experience as the light, because they can't cope. It's a miscommunication. It's a misdialect. They can't even communicate in the same experience, because the energy vibration is oscillating so much higher. That's why there has to be a shifting out of energies. There has to be that movement out, and you'll just see it naturally. It'll just be natural. It's not going to be a big, huge thing. Do we want to say any more about the performance base, or we just want to kind of let that go and let people play with that? You know, again, it's not ego. The performance base is your soul. So how are you performing as a soul? Are you allowing yourself the divine feminine, you know, the divine masculine, divine feminine energies to play with? Are you allowing yourself that time of exploration? Are you allowing that sacred time of respect and honor of those sacred energies? Are you allowing yourself sacred energies to play with the ingredients of your soup? You know, what does that mean for you? What does your environment look like for you for 2028, for 2024? You know, play with these experiences and envision and visualize and do your affirmations that are only about you. You can't do affirmations about any other. You know, you can send the highest and the best to your collective. That's it. If you're sending affirmations to anybody specific of any specific experience on anybody's specific experience, that is karma. You can send that person light, and it will sit in their field until they're ready to honor that light. You know, as Jesus told me. And that's why when I wrote in my post the other day is that, you know, healers don't have any responsibility to heal anybody's wounds. They can send anybody light, but it's up to that person to be in the capacity to actually process the light. If they're sitting in a whole bunch of darkness, that light will sit there until they have to choose to accept that light. And some people won't choose to accept that light because they don't know who they are. If they can't accept themselves as light because they're still, you know, they're still playing in that dark energy, and that's fine. They're playing so much in the energies to hurt and harm others and to make others do what they want them to do, and all of those domineering underground false experiences of corruption. That light isn't going to be there for them to catch until they say, I want to catch this light. Please help me clear out these densities. I see myself as light now. I want to use the energy of light in my field. The energy's there. There's always light there. There's always light here. There's always light there. Always light is. But because of the beliefs that people sit in, because of the experiences people sit in, they haven't cleared those traumas, so they still sit in their wounding. They act in their wounding. They act in envy. They act in jealousy. They act in hatred. They act in separation. They act in competition because that's where their wounding is. Their wounding is in competition. They feel they're not enough. So go heal that wound of not enough. That wound will never go anywhere until you go and heal it. Hello, Carmen Gorgeous. Merry Christmas, goddess. We are talking about the psychology of the psyche is going to be huge change this coming year. And the Akashic gifts, the celestial gifts are going to be harmonized to equal this new version of tangent that the psyche and psychology are going to move into. It's going to be really, really cool because those people that are really keen on healing and are really keen about the psyche, because that's all we are. We are just psyche experiences in a human body. And when we are not clearing those wounds, it becomes an illness or a disease or a disorder, or it becomes a DNA block. DNA block means you can wire yourself and code yourself around those codings of your genetic story. It's called your genetic sequencing, and it can be shifted and changed, but it's up to each person to do that and know that. And that's just about working with yourself intimately with you and God, and doing your healing sessions every night that I've showed you about earlier. But 2024 will be a huge kind of genre spinoff to those of us that teach, deeper aspects of the psyche, how the psyche is in and of itself, the soul experiencing itself. And again, you becoming that performance of the soul. And we mean performance is the creative being that you are. As if you're on stage, we want you to think about that word performance, not in an egoic way, as if you're competing, but as you're standing on stage, experiencing yourself as a soul, performing yourself as a soul, because you want to be able to be all aspects of your soul freely. When we're suppressing parts of our soul, that's the psyche itself. We want the psyche to know that it's free and beautiful to roam. That's why your balancing and your now impression that we talked about is going to be really important, because we're going to be accelerating. When you're accelerating, you need to be able to return quickly back to you and ground so that you can have absolute commandmentship of your psyche. And that will be very, very, very key for any healer that is going to move off into this tangent for the deeper rewriting of a higher vibrational 5D psychology, if you will. And it's not going to be called psychology. It will be called something different, because it's going to incorporate the healing of the patterns of Akash, lineage, planetary imprints that are multidimensional. Imprints are multidimensional. We talked about this on our radio show back in case you are. Imprints are multidimensional. It depends on what imprints we're talking about. But when we're talking about the systematic imprints from our collective, how the human collective behaves, we're seeing it now. The beings in power, the elite powers that be, if you will, they absolutely know, and they've been shown for the past 6 months that there is a shift happening. They can choose to alter course and be a part of the change and be a part of this experience of, you know, humanity shifting into a higher degree of operation, and take a back step so they can heal. And then God will place the leaders that have been doing the work in the front leadership positions. They know this is coming. They know this is happening, and they've all been told and shown that there are kind of deadlines because the multiverse ascension has to continue. We're not going to stop ascending. And those of us that have been prepared for eons for the taking the place of anchoring the Sophia Christos, which is the Christic vibrations of the highest vibrational wisdoms of Metatronic light, the Christ consciousness, which is what Jesus taught and offered. But it allows us to understand all that we are as a psyche experience, because we're all psychic. We are breathed psychically as source, as when we release ourselves from source as a co-creative promise. Source and I, we want to create together. God, I want to create with you. Where do you want to send me? What do we want to pull together? You would not believe what goes through. I've talked about it. Go back on all my videos about soul blueprints, because it's far more expansive and profound than one can even imagine. When you choose to take an incarnation and God says, I want to pull you to have a physical incarnation on this planet at this time for an incarnation, we'd like your gifts and your talents. God knows exactly that essence of playfulness, that essence of uniqueness, that essence of genuine authenticity. It's all about, 2024 will be all about returning to your own unique, genuine authenticity to manifest in it. And that is the reflection of the psyche of all that you are as God. You are a psyche aspect of infinite potential with God. That's what being psychic is. You can move around however you want with the energy as energy, and you're not doing it in abusive ways where you're forcing your way, you're doing black magic, and all of those things that we've learned through these denser aspects of space where Gaia and we have moved. Because we've come from really dark galactic space where Gaia is moving as a planet, as I said earlier. Those galactic space journeys we had to take. Because again, there was a lot of manipulation, there was a lot of enslavement, there was a lot of forcible activities on other planets, like Lyra, like Orion. We had to transmute those energies, and we're seeing it play out in a physical way. So we're transmuting those very dense timelines of enslavement and dominance. We're not going to be told what to do. We're not going to be herded. That is reclaiming ourselves as Christic sovereignty so that we can, 2024, for those that have been on the path for a while, have this new embodiment of creativity of the psyche that is God. God can manifest the psyche in whatever way it wants. God is the ultimate psychic manifestation of magicianship. You know, God is instant manifestation. The psychic is just your ability to understand and read energy, the unseen, to hear the unhearable, to see the unseeable, to feel the unfeelable. That is being psychic, because everything is life of God. Everything is God. It transcends Bible. It transcends mortar. It transcends all that is matter, but it is matter in and of itself, because it's that psyche manifestation of the equation and the science of reality, right? So we have to understand the various multidimensional fusion that we are, and that's going to be the equal miraculousness that will be 2024, because we have to honor ourselves as profoundly psychic beings, and why we've, many of us have held ourselves at bay. Because we've been so freaking psychic, but there's been no outer explanation for anything that we actually feel and sense and move through. Nobody out there today that I've seen or I've been in contact with, there is still nobody today that talks about the level of psychicness that I've experienced or that we are going to experience in 2024. Because we don't have words. We don't have words for the level of psychicness that we're going to be experiencing. So, that psychicness has absolutely everything to do with how we behave, who we are as behaviors. And again, the more clearing and the more self-love and the more healing and the more intimacy you have with your ascension path, you're absolutely in tune with how you're behaving. because you get those moments where you're in a triggered moment of jealousy or a triggered moment of envy or a triggered moment of not being enough. You get to heal that. You say, okay, I claim that. Let me let that go because I want to heal myself and I want to have fun now. I want to be the performance of God now. So return yourself back to your performing, because you are a manifestation, you are a representation of the heavens. So that representation of the heavens, you're meant to play. You are meant to be on stage. You are meant to be in the most profound planetary experience ever. This planetary experience right now is so profound for all of creation because nobody expected us to get as far as we did. And the celestials, like every day waking up to see what's going to happen on earth. We are meant to stand on stage and be the creative psychic experiences of God. When you have those moments of the all-seeing eye, and those of you that have had the experiences, you'll know what I'm talking about, because these experiences are profound in and of themselves, and you'll never forget it when you have those experiences. And you can ask God if you so choose. Ask God to have an experience of the all-seeing eye. When you have an experience of the all-seeing eye, the Horus eye, and that's what Horus and Osiris and all of those ancient temple experiences that we learned about back in ancient Egypt. When you understand, and there was a few beings that were brought forward in every timeline to explore and express what the all-seeing eye is about, is about the holographic experience of the micro-macro of you being God. So that's what I am asking for you all to soften into, this performance of being the psyche experience of God. You are, just as your soul fragments are, the psyche experiences of your woundings that you're accountable for, that you promised to God in that original soul blueprint to say, okay, God, how do you want me to manifest? What are my excitements? What do you want of me? What do I want of you? How can we marriage in this experience? How can we be a co-creative partnership in this earthly experience to be my highest and my best? What kind of DNA can I expect? What kind of experiences can I expect? What kind of psyche aspects can I activate? And can I be one with you in this? Because this is the timeline where all 3D experiences, we get to harmonize, pull in as one, and we get to be this new experience of this multivast experience of this toroidal crystal that is God. Your soul fragments are the micro-macro of you being the soul fragment of God, that micro-macro, that psyche experience. You are a psyche experience of God. You can't not be. Everything is psyche. Your experience in your every moment, whether it's having a great meal, that's a psyche experience. You never forget that. You can pull on that experience. You can remember, if you so wish, play with your psyche. Play with how psychic you are. You're a psychic being. You just never classified yourself. You've never been told that because nobody wanted you to tap into how powerful you are as an intuitive being of light. You can remember at a moment where you were wounded, and you can remember that experience and have it not be wounded. And you can re-heal yourself. That's why the powers that be, the elite programs of limitation and fear, didn't want you to know that you were psychic. They didn't want you to know that you were a psychic being of God, because you could take yourself back right to a wounding and redo it. You can rewrite your timeline from that, which is what we're doing right now, since the very beginning of time. No, we're rewriting timelines. No, I'm psychic experience of God. I can do whatever I want. The now is the now is the healing, the now is the rewriting. I want to be a new psychic experience of God, and it's my performance. I get to perform. It's my play, right? God says, get on stage. I'm going to get on stage. God said it's time. Let's go. Giddy up. Buckle up. Because we ain't going backwards. It's nothing but up from here. Right? You're the psyche experience of God, and you got a lot inside of you. It's always inside, because if you don't have an above, you won't have it below. So reach up from above, call in that light, and activate everything that's going on inside of you. Do this every evening. Do it at the beginning of every day. Set your psyche experience to be everything playful with God. How can I be a performer today, God? How can I know and sing and play? And then play with that psyche experience. Have yourself go back to a 5-year-old psyche experience where you can rewrite it to something positive and loving and nurturing for you. Because you can. Right? If you had a molestation or a beating, you can rewrite that. And tell yourself, yeah, God, let's rewrite this psyche experience. Because if I can do that with my soul fragments, he can do that with you. God, the mother, the father. The song of the positive, the song of the nurturance, the song of the allowing, the song of the receiving, the song of the openness. You have to be open 2024 will be all about openness. Have you practiced your ascension? And that's detaching. You're not fearful anymore. You can walk with an open heart. Those of you that are most psychic, I know how it is. Trust me. The last 10 years, I've been walking around absolutely in jitter form, because I am so tapped in. But now Spirit is, because my arrangement and my agreement with Spirit now is I'm just allowing a greater flow of the Christ consciousness to move through me so that nothing can affect me. And then I just do my appropriate clearings. Because I'm flowing unconditional love of the Christ. Nothing to do with religion. So that means that I don't have to worry about targets. I don't have to worry about people doing anything because it's just unconditional love. That unconditional love, nothing can touch that. So that's where I've let go a lot of those, and that's doing that healing. I can say, okay, I trust you, God. God's lifted me from this point. God's put me back together and built me. I trust absolutely, unequivocally, God is. I'm a performance of God. I want to be a performance of God. I want to dance. I know I've had timelines where I was a dancer. I know I've had timelines where I was a musician. I know I've timelines where I was a shaman. I know herbs. So I'm going to be a performance of God. And I get to. That's my birthright. I've earned that. Right? You get to move through that minutia of darkness. So you get to move through that minutia of being a performer. And then again, too, you're going to have those moments. You're going to have those moments where you absolutely have to set boundaries and say, no, there's no tolerance for that. And right now I'm standing in my power and I'm going to be a dragon and I'll breathe down your throat if you don't get out of my face. And you're going to have to say that sometimes for those people that just keep pushing you because they have to know how serious you are about the importance of your fields, the importance of your energy, the importance of your house, the importance of you standing in your power. And you can say it in a very nice and kind way, but you're going to have to still say it. And that you can be the performer of no, setting boundaries, you're your own protector. That's claiming your importance. That's claiming your value. That's claiming yourself to be on stage. Yeah, Spirit, get me on stage. I'm worthy of being here. I have worked my ass off for I don't know how many eons, and I didn't make it last time, but this time I'm going to make it. I'm stepping up. So get up. Every day, get up. You're important. Your voice matters. No matter what your story is, know that you are in your allness. Own those aspects of you and those psyche experiences of you where you were in wounding. Own it. And heal the wound. Heal the wound of not knowing who you are. Heal it. Because there's a lot of social, which we said earlier, a lot of social dogmatic patterns and brainwashing, literally brainwashing. They showed me yesterday. What did you say, Spirit? I don't have the paper in front of me. Oh, they said that you've been socially ripped. You've been socially and dogmatically ripped out of your entire soulful creativity. And that's what some of these programs have done, is they've taught you how to not be you. So that by the time you actually get to an awakened state, you're like, who the fuck am I? That's what awakening and ascension is all about. You're just meant to go within, who am I? Well, there's been so much brainwashing fuckery and conformity about how to behave, how not to behave, how to belong, how not to belong, what's the right thing to say, what's not the right thing to say, even though most of the people that say those things are the very ones that are the most egregious. And they're the ones that are going to be pulled out because they're not showing humanity the authenticity of Spirit and God, because they don't have any essence connection. They don't have any omnipresence connection. They don't have any genuine, authentic connection. There's no connection whatsoever because they're not connected with who they are. They have absolutely zero connection with their higher self. So how can any person call themselves a spiritualist or a spiritual leader when they are not even connected with their higher self and they're doing black magic? And they're telling people to act in vindictive, vengeful ways. That's not a spiritualist. That's a dark occultist. And that's fine. That's your experience for that minute. So own it. Say, I'm going through my black version right now. Yeah, and just know that if you interfere with anybody else's life, that's karma. So you got to own that too. That's your consequence. You want to own that? Good, go for it. But you will have karma. Nobody escapes it. Nobody gets a free ticket. You gotta know how you affect the all. That's being omnipresent. That is God showing you, yes, you're an aspect of me, and I've given you free, unlimited experiences to experience all that God is. That's how much God loves you. You can experience the darkest aspects of God, and there will always be darker. That's God. There is void. There is nothing. There is brilliance. There is genius. There is undeniably unexplainable experiences that don't even have words on them. That's God. That's the voluptuousness that God is. In any moment, we can create a new vibration of God. Boom, there it is. And then there's also the equal opposite of darkness. There has to be. But you get to choose in every moment. Who are you now? How can I go forward? How can I step up to my performance? Let's do this. So it's nothing to be afraid of. We're not here to fear God. We're not here to fear anything that's out there. That's the whole lesson. We are here to claim who we are and say, no, we are going to create new earth. We are going to stand up and be led by self-sovereignty. And we're going to absolutely know that we can create the earth that we want to create, that everyone is healed. Everyone is going to go through their own healing process. And we're going to seek it within ourselves to have diversity and unification through it all. Because we're meant to see each other as diverse beings of light. We are hybrids. Who said we're only supposed to be one species of person with one species of beliefs? No. I'm preparing you to meet yourself as an insectoid. I'm preparing you to meet yourself as a Pleiadian bird person. I'm preparing to meet yourself as an Orion or a light reptilian, a very high vibrational light reptilian that are kind of silvery white. I'm preparing you to meet those aspects of yourself. So why is it so hard for you to give the acceptance to somebody that speaks about God that's not found in the Bible? Do you see what I'm saying? These are the micro macro of God, and every aspect, micro macro, will have to look at itself as an aspect of God in their own performance of who they are as God. And they have to remember themselves as God, not as what they were taught or brainwashed or their soul, their creative soul ripped out of them because it wasn't okay to be psychic when you were 5 in a church. Well, that's not okay anymore because those churches didn't know who you were as God. They didn't have any clue, so how could they teach you? So don't feel bad about it. They did the best they could. Most church people have no idea what chakras are. You can't ascend without knowing your chakras. You can't ascend without knowing your higher self. You can't ascend without understanding your multi-vibrational fields. So why? Why? The question of the year, dear lighted ones. 2023, we're going to wrap up in this very profound question. And when you look at how much you have been altered and changed by dogma and by your social systems, why is it, dear lighted ones, the most important and most profound aspects of who you are as a divine, sacred being of light that is infinite, that is eternal, that can heal your body overnight? Why is it, dear lighted ones, that you have never been taught about your multidimensional systems of light in church? Why is that whole entire concept left out of every single religion? There's a reason. Why is it you've never been taught about your chakras? Why is it you've never been taught about your higher self? Why is it that you've been never taught about your pineal? Why have you never been taught about your cerebral cortex and the importance of it through the process of ascension? And I asked this to Elon Musk, if Elon Musk is ever listening or ever will listen. If you've never known about these multidimensional systems of ascension and how divine you are as a sacred aspect of light, all these elite programs that think they know about who you are and they want to clone you and they want to make you into this higher intelligent being by putting brain chips in your brain, you have no idea how sacred we are as God, that we are perfect as we are. That chip will absolutely be the destruction of who you are as a species. And I say that, calling you out, Musk. You don't know what you're doing. And so I'm saying that to you, dear lighted ones. Why do you think that these very important perspectives of who you are as God, the aspects of who you are as God, why have they been left out of everything in our social systems? They're not taught in schools. You have to go out and seek it independently. And then when you start talking about it, you start teaching it, you got your platform shut down. When you're talking about the profundity of who you are as an intuitive psychic being of God, that you're the psychicness of God, then they want to start weaponizing it and put you through human testing to see if you can use your psychic abilities to hurt people. That's how twisted and corrupt what has occurred in the last 10 years. The human testing, because we will be awakening, and we're going to be awakening, and we're going to be transmuting, we're going to be navigating into the divine, awesome experiences that we're meant to be practicing and exploring our psychic abilities. And we're not going to harm or hurt people, because we're not going to have another Atlantis or another Lemuria or another draconian experience. No, we're actually going to be loving and kind, and we're going to be performance based about who we are as a soul, and we're going to be performing in the light of heaven. Because we get to be proud about our gifts and our skills. And we deserve absolutely as our birthright to be psychic. We deserve in our birthright to be intuitive healers. We deserve as our birthright to be intuitive beings of light, where we get to connect with every aspect of life, whether it's a log, a tree, a piece of sand, or the ocean, or the animals in the ocean. There's a beautiful seal that's looking at me right there. That's what being psychic is. You get to connect with all life. And that's when life really gets exciting, because everything that was 3D and everything that was superficial, and why every single one of our genres in our collective will change, including entertainment. The superficial, corrupt BS that's been going on in entertainment over the last 20 years. About sacrifices and power and money changing hands and deaths and the back and forth battles of East and West and all that crap. No, we're not barbarians anymore. We have to level up. No more garbage. We are divine beings of light. We are divine psychic experience of God. We're divine psychic experiences of the heavens, and we deserve to express and explore and experience ourselves as source. No more BS. We're beyond that. Level up, be the vast soul that you are, and then truly tap into who you are as a creative genius. Because what's been going on in the entertainment business, that is nothing but degrading. There's no intelligence in that whatsoever. And anybody that knows any of our channel and any of our videos, anybody that practices sacrificing will do nothing but implode and create a whole lot of debt on your entire lineage, including your children and anybody that you go into another timeline with. Even if you pass on and you think, oh, my karma is going to clear. No, you're going to go right back into a timeline where you're going to put in that debt that you placed on another, impaled on another because of a sacrifice to get your own power. It's an illusion. People that talk about sacrifices and do things sacrificially don't understand creational reality. They don't understand it. And they're creating a whole lot of karma that's unnecessary. They don't get it. Because again, it's dark. It only has its pattern of understanding. No, if you want to understand who you are as a being of light, then break out of that dark pattern. Sacrifices are not necessary. They will never work. They will only implode. That's what sacrifices do. You're choosing the sacrifice. Therefore, you have sacrificed your free will. You've given your power to something that you've said, I don't have any free will. There you go. You've just promised yourself a sacrifice. That sacrifice is only unto you. You don't understand. If people are doing sacrifices in any business, you have no idea. You need to seek guidance before you choose to do a sacrifice, because it is going to show up on your lineage. It absolutely will. It will show up on your children. It will show up on anybody that you surround yourself with. That karma has to go somewhere. So people are going to really wake up, because creational reality is right in front of your face. And that human testing and all the stuff that I went through, I absolutely proved that I'm a psychic experience of God, because God rebuilt me every single time. Every single time I was put through the horrible, horrible, horrible things that was done to me. Horrible. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. Sick, horrible, cruel human testing. I'm a psychic aspect of God, and God will rebuild me. Period. I have my right to be here, and I will. I ain't gonna sit down. And if there's people that don't like and appreciate that divine feminine have a voice, there's a lot of deep healing and wounds there that will be obvious and evident, and they need assessment. Because ascension will not stop. All life is equal, period. Elders, animals, Gaia, water, air, everything is equal of importance. Everything will be rewritten. God is divine and sacred. There is nowhere in any, and what religion would you want to belong to, where it says you have to defile and sacrifice and kill another person to feel powerful. That's not God. That's barbaric. Anybody wants to sit and have a conversation with me of pure intelligence, to sit and talk about and work through and sort through your religious beliefs because of your religious traumas, I will absolutely have a session with you. I'm not here to say all religions are bad. I'm here to say that we are multiverse beings. Anything that is beyond and trespassing on the universal laws, absolutely, absolutely, is showing you right then and there. The God is all creative. The God is sacred and honoring in all life. So if you choose to dishonor it and trespass on the first two laws of the very most important laws, then the entire collective goes imbalanced. That's your effect on the all, and it matters. Abuse matters because it affects the all. I was held back for 8 years. It matters. The people that don't get to see my channel and they're going through hell because they can't sort stuff out because they're a psychic being and they don't know they're a psychic being. They could get healed by my stuff, but my channel is shadow banned. The people that are going to be paying for that, the people that will get karma for that, are those people that are shadow banning my account because they don't have a right to play God. They don't. And every single one of them are experiencing karma right now. I call judgment on every one of you. You don't have right to say who I get to be heard by. I'm a part of the collective. I was brought here by God as a conduit, as a hybrid, as a psychic crystal being, and I will absolutely share who I am. I have a voice and I will share it. I've prepared for eons. I'm from other universes and I'm not going to sit down. My voice is heard by those that are passed over. They didn't get their voice heard because they knew that I was the one that was going to bring their story forward. So make no mistake about it. I am a psychic being of God and I ain't going to stop. My channel will be shared. My channel will be opened because it's my destiny. And nobody writes that but God. God knows exactly my experiences. That's why God's the only one that says and writes. And in your soul's blueprint, which we're going to have another, we'll probably have to have another video about soul blueprints. I love soul blueprints. When we talked about before, when you and God are at the various highest aspects, thank you for your love hearts. I love you so much. I love you. 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 I told you, Cluedo, that you would be getting a synchronicity. Remember in what I said, if you go back to that video and I said God was going to give you a synchronicity, and then you told me about your experience, it was because you're meant to be heard. Remember I said in that video, many of you don't think you're teachers, but you are. And then you had that synchronicity. It was the same video. Go back and listen to it, honey. I'm so happy for you. I was so happy for you. I was like cheering you when I was reading your email. And so what were we going to say? Okay, so let's do an open channel. I don't know what's going to come forward, but let me just get my crystal. So everybody just sit with a straight back. We're going to do a holiday channel for the systems of light. La da dee dee dee, la da dee da da, la da dee da. Just clearing my fields. I am a market de case, she and a market de Kai and a market de cases, and a market de Kai and a cat de case, she and a cat de Kai and a market de cases, and a market de case, she and a market de case, and a cat de Kai and a cat de Kai and a cat de Kai and a cat de Kai, she and a cat de Kai and a cat. Take a deep breath. Call all your soul fragments in, call all your soul fragments in, call all your soul fragments in, ground, 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 ground. Connect with the 5D grids, connect with the 5D grids, connect with the 5D grids. I am I take Shanama Deitike Namai Adinamai. Deep breath. Ground, 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 diet, makata de case, she and a cut of the kai, manakata de case, she manakata de kai, my eat the case, and money the kai, the case, she manakata de kai, the ah. Alla manakata de case, she and a cut of ah. Alla manakata de case, she and manakata de case, she and a cut of ah. Edit can makata de case, she and a makata de kai, and makata de case, she and a makata de kai, la kai, the kai na. There's a lot of energies coming through right now, so I'm just going to keep light language because that's just how it flows faster for me. And there's activations going on in the cerebral cortex. So they're telling me that it is part of the video that we had last time about the infusions that are going on. Thank you, Holy Spirit, with the higher perspectives of self. They're showing me 7th and 8th perspectives of the dimensional fractals that we are. So I'm working with 7th, 8th dimensional frequencies right now. There's a lot of celestial beings that are speaking through me right now for everybody now and future now moments. So they're showing me, thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. So the beings that I work with are the systems of light. So systems of light are a species of beings from all over the multiverse that come as part of those that are listening now in Future Now Moments as a part of the Soul's Collective, for the enhancements of the Gaia Collective, for the Gaia Collective. And we say Gaia Collective, that is a meaning. There's meaning in there, so you can unpack that if you so wish. Unpack it with your teams, unpack it with God. It means something different for each of you because you each work with and come with different councils. And the systems of light are also incorporating with the planetary ascension integration, those that are also species, dialect, performance managers, if you will, those that guide you through who you are as a physical being of God, of spirit, of who you are becoming as light, more celestial, more alien, feeling more comfortable in your alienness. We like to throw that out because so many of you get little triggers and we want you to be triggered. We want you to get in there and get in that trigger. Get into the deep part of that trigger. What fears you about being alien? What fears you? What fears you, dear lighted ones? Get in there and get happy about it. Get on stage. Act it out. Act it out, dear lighted ones. Nothing to fear. You're all alien to us, don't you know? So they're showing me there's so much energies that's going on right now. So you can unpack these energies later. I'm just getting you a visual because I'm a conduit. That's what I do. Right now, they're showing me the mothership of one of the galactic federations. And the mothership, there's infinite species that are around the Orpheum that I call the celestial podium ship, if you will, where all these species come forward to speak, and they're all speaking in their own unique experience. And because it's a multidimensional experience, this mothership is massive. It's about the size of a country, and this mothership has its little podium experience. It's circular, and all these energies are flowing around, and it's a matter of what you're intending to integrate and to connect with as the flow of who you are as a celestial, alien, heavenly being that's in human form, and what you have cleared and what you have allowed for, and your higher vibration intelligence about what you're ready to excitedly co-create with all of your beings and all of your species and whatever realm of frequency you're on, because each and every one of you are on a different realm of frequency, and these beings are there with you every single day to help you harmonize and integrate your new versions of you. And that's why we say, what triggers you about being alien? So what? What triggers you about being celestial? So what? You wouldn't imagine what's in your DNA, dear lighted one. So why do you have such a trouble, and why do you have such beef with your next door neighbor? Why do you? You're all celestial, you're all alien. You need to get over it. You need to get on stage and just act it out and be honoring with one another, because you're going to need one another. That's what you do. You need one another because you're all brothers and sisters. Once you pass over, y'all know that. You're meeting each other on the other side all the time. You just don't know it. You're just stuck in your 3D wounding, and you find the beefs about one another. You're on one side of the border. You're on the other side of the border. You want to have power over another. You want another to play in your story, and they don't want to play in your story. Someone's calling out a truth, so you're getting mad at them. Get over it, dear lighted ones. Come on now. Time for you to get out of kindergarten. Stop being petty. Because you got a whole universe, a multiverse to explore, dear lighted ones. When you realize how petty and immature you be, and you put the sticks down. Put the sticks down, dear lighted ones. Stop harming yourself. Stop harming another. Do you know the glory that you can do just sitting and listening and being in the presence of somebody? Being in the presence of somebody that's an alien? That's what we're preparing you for, dear lighted ones. Joanna's been doing this for many years. She's been preparing you to meet yourself as the alien that you are. You just haven't been told you're an alien, but welcome home, you're an alien. Ta-da! What do you say about that? Is that surprising to you? No, because you've been brainwashed in systems that have told you you're nothing. You've been brainwashed in systems to take that creative genius out of you. You've been brainwashed in systems to say, bend here, bow there. Meanwhile, those people are doing egregious things behind the doors, and y'all know they are, because they don't have no connection at the heart. Because you know when you connect with somebody at the heart, it doesn't feel strange. It feels awkward. It feels different. Well, it's supposed to, because they're heart activated. Can you get over that now? Can you know that everything is alien? You're in a new species of space now. Because what we're going to say to you is going to blow your mind, dear lighted ones. Just like Joanna tapped into the 7th and 8th frequencies of a dimensional experience that is now harmonized into something new in her frequency that she's never felt before. But we're going to tell you, dear lighted ones, that if you sit in this kind of an experience and you do some love and chanting to yourself, and you call in the Holy Creator, and you call in God, and you call in whatever makes you happy, Whatever makes you happy as a child, painting and singing and dancing, and you call in those angels. And you call in love. You want your heart to know love. You want your heart to explore love. You want your heart to experience love. You want to remember what it's like to play and be free again. There's going to be aspects of your reality that's going to blow your mind. Because why? We're going to give you a secret, dear lighted ones. Because you're going to be in new space. And that space is going to give you codes, and it's going to give you light. And it's going to make you remember something when you thought you weren't going to remember, but you are. Because God's got you each on a timer. And God's going to say, and your higher self is going to say, it's time for you to wake up. And there's going to be a code placed in your field. Or you're going to walk by someone that's going to remind you. You're going to click on a video that's going to remind you. And you're going to hear a light language. You're going to hear a song. You're going to hear a tone or a hum or a buzz. And it's going to wake you up. Because you're in new space now, dear lighted ones. And it's going to thrill you. You're going to have shivers up and down your spine. Because there's going to be beings from across the multiverse that's going to come and say, hey, like they're knocking on your proverbial higher self door. And they're going to be in your field and they're going to say, hello, peekaboo. Ha ha, peekaboo. Peekaboo. Ha ha. You're alien just like me, dear ones. Ha ha. And it makes you feel so good because you know what? We hear you right now. We hear you laughing. We hear you giggling. We hear you crying. Because you never gave yourself permission to be full of you. But now we're saying it's time to give yourself permission. You come from so many planets, dear lighted ones. You come from all different colors. We see you in green and yellow. We see you in a beautiful color of blue, silver. We see you in a beautiful color of transparent white. We see you in colors that are kind of pinkish, kind of like a, what's that color that you call on your lipstick? It's kind of a pinky hue. That's what you call you. Different colors you come in. You come in really dark. You come in really light. You come in whatever hues you want to be because that's God. Do you know you're alien, dear lighted ones? You feel okay about that now? Can you know that you have light ships that you're zipping around the multiverse in? You got galaxy plans. You got a galaxy journey log. You can't wait to get on your galactic journey because you just want to travel. You want to meet. You want to see. You want to explore. Are you being okay being alien now, dear lighted ones? Are you seeing yourself as a celestial, a pleiadian, maybe Sirian this time, maybe Andromedan, maybe you're Cassiopean. Cassiopeans I see as yellow. I see them as yellow beings because they're so beautifully divined in their power of self. They know exactly who they are and they love talking about the heart. They love fixing you at the heart. You want to call on a beautiful heart healing, call upon the Cassiopeans. They love working with your heart. They love you. They love you so much. These beings love to work with you, and they're very playful and they're very light. They'll sit within you, 5 feet in front of you, 2 feet in front of you, a foot in front of you, and they'll stare at your face and they'll smile at you. They won't say a word. They love you so much, they just want to see you, and they'll be knocking on your front door. Knock, knock, knock. Yeah, timely now. Is it timely now, dear lighted ones? Have we triggered you? What a fun trigger it is, darling. For reminding you that you are alien, that you are celestial, that you are angelic, that you are those from those borders that you have judged and you have damned, for you are them too. So what are you fighting about? Put your sticks down. Get real with yourselves. You are God. God is all that is. The all God of all creation creates all creation. There is no leaving anything out of creation for God. It is all accepted. God is God. And if there is something that you believe in that is not accepted, then perhaps you should look at your beliefs, because God is God. And when you pass over, you will be accepting of all that God is, because God is accepting you within all that is, because you are all that is. You cannot not be. So, dear lighted ones, are you feeling better about being alien now? You go across the waters and you are alien to those in the waters. You are alien to those when you reach the land. You see what we're saying, dear lighted ones? Your terminologies have had you all messed up, and you've been practiced into being small and conformed. And if you don't behave like the person next to you, then it's unusual and strange and weird. And then you create hate tactics. No, celebrate the strange and weird, dear lighted ones. We're preparing you. Preparing you for the strange and weird. Do you know what the Celestials do most of the time? They sit in silence and they wonder in their consciousness, and they dance and they play in their light creations. They create things out of light, and they dance. They don't have electronics that they play on. They play within their third eye, within their fields of light. They know that they can manifest from thought, and they are very careful about their thought. For they want to create in the benevolence of the greater good. They don't care to have power over others. They care to have the imagination from within and create the sacredness of all that is in all that is. For that is the joy of being all that is. There's infinite things to create with. Why would you ever want to take something from another or force another to be in their story or your story or another story? No, the infinite is infinite. Stay in your own lane. Create from within. For you are a species of all colors. You are a species of all forms. We are showing you, dear lighted ones, that there are those of you that have tails. And these are species and planets that you have heard and planets that you have not heard. And these beings walk around without clothes, for you don't need clothes as a celestial being. You're on your planet. It's how you walk. It's how you are. You don't need to validate yourself to anyone. You don't have patterns of validity that you have to prove to anyone to be accepted. And you walk as this very beautiful, tall being with a very long tail. And these beings are humanoid. And this being is very tall. About 10 feet, I reckon. A little bit gray skin. Very long arms, 3 fingers, and 3 toes, if you will, on the appendages. And these beings just happily walk on the land. And they have a very high perspective, for they can see over across all lands. They can see the dips and the valleys. They can see the peaks. They can see in and out of things. That is their choice of being. They wanted to have a higher perspective of walking amongst the land. And then there are those that slither, and those that are very close to the land, the insectoids, the beings of light where they slither and move along the land. There are those that can be shapeshifters in the trees and in the forests and in the sands and soils, because they wanted to have that experience too. So how does that make anyone more than the other? It doesn't, dear lighted ones. They are equal. That is the God perspective. Can you carry this into 2024 and every moment hereafter? That it doesn't matter the form that you take. It doesn't matter the color that you take. It does not matter your choice of beliefs. They are momentary clothes that you choose to wear so that you can see yourself within it, accept it, and then move on. Growth, evolution. Make that belief better than it was before. Make it expanded, make it better, make it higher, make it lighter. Whatever you choose, that's God's gift to you. Can you see that now, delighted ones? Can you see the expansiveness that we're preparing you to see yourself as? And many of you in this one activation today, delighted ones. And be prepared for this, for we are precognating this for you. For we are your higher selves. We are the alien aspects of you that you've been so strange and closed off to not want to get to know, but it's you, we're in your face now. Vibrationally, we're in your face saying, come on, let's go, let's play. We want to play with you. These are the times coming, delighted ones, and you must play with those around you because they are you. No matter how they might look, no matter how they might believe, they are you. Can you be peaceful with them? Can you be peaceful with your neighbor that might not believe as you believe? But they are still you. They're still the alien aspects of you to be accepted because we're preparing you for a more outlandish perspective of you. It's all escalating, if you will. We're preparing you. And those aspects of you that are wanting to be integrated, wanting to integrate those aspects of difference, of diversity. You have to integrate the diversity. That's God. That's the psyche experience of you, integrating all aspects of you. It's all you. Be voluptuous with it. Be rich in your spirit. Be rich in the beauty of you. That is who you are, dear lighted ones. You are amazing to us to be in that experience, to think that you're separate, but you're not. And we love watching you every day. We love watching you. We love watching you explore. We love watching you sit in your presence. We love watching you sit in your sad times. And we love watching you celebrate who you are and say, no, I can let this grudge go. I want to be joyful. I accept you for who you are. And I accept all those things inside of me that have projected that outside to create that. That's how magnificent you are as a creator. Adamadakesha Shiana Karadaka. Asasimana Karadakesha Shiana Karadakena Manakaradakesa Siana Manakai de Kesha Anna Karadakada, I dedicated the Kadaka. Alamana Karadaka. We celebrate you, delighted ones. We're so excited to be with you. And so that's wanted to give a very beautiful, just a visual. All of these beings that are coming forward and speaking through me, because I'm carrying a bigger vibration of the Christ, and I'm just being more in open and receiving so that I can flow more love energy out. So that's why the energies are going to feel really big. They're going to feel really unique and is celestial alien codes. And so that's why the energies and the vibrations will be changing for all of my recordings, because there's going to be more Christ consciousness, more celestial energies that are going to be offered, because again, I'm a portal. I'm a version of celestial alien energies that are preparing all of you to kind of tweak your codes, to tweak your remembrances of who you are, to prepare you to meet those celestial aspects of who you are, and also to create greater peace with those that are already on your planet. Because that's the whole point, is for us to be peaceful in the minutia of diversity of who we are, and bring peace on the planet of our diversity, so that we're in preparation of meeting those aspects that are, so-called alien. And what was that? What else is there? Oh yeah, so this big, huge mothership, and all the celestials that were on the mothership that were just talking all at once. So there's a lot of codes, there's a lot of downloads that I just downloaded, but my mouth can only say the stories that were, that they channeled through me. But there's a lot of downloads, so just know that. That was fun. That was so fun. Just let me check in Commander Ashtar. Is there any other information that you wanted, Spirit? They're saying that we love you with such light. So be at peace when you're this beautiful holiday season. Focus on love and compassion and acceptance. Acceptance is not... there's some people get a misinterpretation of acceptance. Acceptance is honoring everybody for who they are, and also standing in your power to be treated with respect. And so we all know, because these are the times of family gatherings, you're meant to stand in your power and accept all for who they are and where they're at in their ascension, where they're at in their consciousness evolution, where they're at in their integration of who they are as light and dark and all that is God. And some will be on a different pacing. Some have different temperaments. Some have different understandings because of their belief systems, their lineage, there's so much that goes into how a person behaves and operates. So much. And that's why you can't ever, loop anybody under one basket. And that's why our entire psychological medical genre field will be completely rewritten, because we can never ever lump any group of people, any one aspect of person under anything. We're going to be we're going to be looking at how we diagnose anything, because it just can't be. Every single person comes with a unique soul blueprint. Every person comes with a unique soul akash experiences, soul experiences. We're going to expand it. It's going to be so amazing. But what did you say, Spirit? Oh yeah, the infinity loop is going to be getting quicker, if you will. Which means that you're going to be focusing a lot more on grounding, a lot more accepting everybody for who they are, and really focusing on your navigation to what feels creative and playful for you. So you're not meant to stay in any experience that is harmful to you or damaging to you, physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually. You're meant to break free, because if you don't break free, then nothing within that cell, that we call them pods. Pods are just a gathering of people. And that gathering of people usually tends to operate in a set vibratory normal, an average normalcy of consciousness. When one person breaks, then those consciousness beings have to try and operate in a new now normal, because they're not having that light or that wisdom or whatever that person that left was offering. So it's going to be important that everybody looks at things from a very high vibrational experience of consciousness awareness, everybody's temperament and pacing, acceptance and love and forgiveness under all circumstances as often as you can, but also setting safe and healthy boundaries for you, and then following through with what you need as rules of engagement so that you're maintaining a safe and healthy environment for you. Because again, as they said earlier, it's going to be really obvious that our psychic celestial experiences are going to be tangible. We're not going to be able to kind of write it off as, oh, that's just a coincidence. No, like what you're actually experiencing is what you're experiencing. What you're hearing is what you're hearing. Because again, your DNA is upgraded. The space that we're moving into, the planetary space, we've done a lot of heavy, dense clearing from traumas and timelines and planets where there was a lot of enslavement, a lot of captors, and those energies where we've had to purge. You know, we've had to purge, and we're realizing the leaders that promote those programs, and why there's going to be more and more energies where you're going to look at a presidential leader, if you will, and you're just going to feel like you just don't like them. And it doesn't have anything to do with what's been prosed out in there, because you're going to be feeling it from within. That's how you know you're becoming more psychic, trusting your intuition. When somebody is before you, is there that energy of heaviness or lightness? Or is it, you know, you just want to have that distance? No, you need to stay away from me. Those are energies that just tell you you're not working with that energy. They're on a different vibration. So pay attention to how you feel. Your sensing and how you feel is going to be so important, because it's telling you how to navigate away from or navigate towards. You can't be fooled anymore. The spell work won't work anymore. And those that do spell work will be coming out, because they have to face Spirit's turning all the gifts and skills off of those that do spell work. It's all getting turned off. Because they have to face who they are in they have to face their soul. They have to face that perspective. You can't get through ascension by spell work. You have to go through the minutia of loss. You have to know how loss serves you. You have to go through minutia of not getting what you want. You have to go through the minutia of facing your jealousy, of facing your envy. What makes you want to do spell work in the first place? You know, you have to be able to go through that minutia and know that it's just a stepping stone, and accept it as a part of your story. You don't have to deny it or be afraid of it, or, you know, disregard it or degrade it. No, just accept it into your story and make it something that serves you. So turn everything into something that can serve you. And again, 2024 will be a huge year of psychic awakening and psychic awareness. So that's why it's going to be very more important that we redefine the psyche, our psychology, our psychiatric ways that we diagnose is going to be shifting and flipping it right on its head. And again, the leaders will have to start reaching out to light workers and calling in light workers on every community, country, galactic, multiverse. I don't know what they're called, because again, I don't pay any attention to politics. I've never enjoyed the whole realm and minutia, because it's been so blatantly, it's like watching a really bad soap opera. And none of them really have taken traditional acting. That's what I feel about politics. It's been just about money and placement and power, and it's been the whole reason of corruption. But if politicians were smart, they would start pulling in light workers to, you know, the light workers that are absolutely tuned in and tapped in with their higher selves, and start having them involved in their future planning, you know, for monies and programs and systems. They would be very smart if they did that. That would show source and spirit that they're willing to start working with and altering course. That's just as a basic common sense. We have to start incorporating who we are as spirit. There's no way we can get around that anymore. We see very blatantly what is just, you know, horrible disregard for humanity. And they're everywhere. We all know it. There's no hiding it anymore. There's no, you know, the secret agendas of the really elites that are trying to silence light workers, and all the scams and the plots and the money spent on mafias and gangs to try and make these agendas continue. There is 100% failure. There just is. And that has nothing to do with light versus dark. It has nothing to do with any of that. It has to do with light. Light is bathing every aspect of consciousness on the planet. And every day, more and more awakening. Every day, the prefrontal cortex. Every day, the cerebral cortex. Every day, we are awakening as spiritual beings. So share my channel. Send feedback to YouTube. I will be pressing charges with anybody and everybody that was involved with shadow banning any and all of my accounts. Twitter. I noticed that with Twitter this morning when I signed on. There was a notification in my thing that said I had blocked this one person's account, which I didn't, because I wasn't on Twitter yesterday. In that regard, I think I just only did posts on Twitter. But when I woke up this morning, there was a restriction notification there. And I thought, well, that's weird. I didn't do any restrictions yesterday. So there's been people working on my, you know, hacking my accounts. When I upload my videos, it shows me when I log off here. I don't know if you guys see it, but when I log off on these live videos, it shows me how many people are logged on and how many likes. But then when it uploads, I get maybe 5. So there's pilfering going on, and there's people making a lot of money off of my work and off of my name. We've already been all through this. So that's what's being stopped, and there'll be charges that will be pressed because it's such profound and blatant and obvious discrimination. So obvious and so blatant. And how many people could have been helped by just the exploration of who we are as different, as unique, as celestial, as tapped in intuitives? Why don't I get a voice, but the corrupt get their voice? Why is it that I don't get my version of my exploration of being human as a devoted mother, teacher, healer, author? Why don't I get that expression? Why don't I get that template? Why don't I get that platform? Why don't I get that stage? Why? Why is nothing taught in our general everyday conversation about chakras? There's a reason why we were never taught about our chakras. There's a reason why. And if you knew the divine incredibleness of your chakras and of your multidimensional fields and of how psychic you are with God, when you know that, when you feel those incredible godly moments of your connection with the omnipresent field, of your connection with God, you bawl your face off because that's God living through you. And that is what they don't want you to feel. That is what I bring every time I have a video, because I'm tapped in with God. Everything I say is infused with God energy. Because I want you to remember who you are as an essence, as a vibrational being. And every time you step your foot on this planet, you matter. Ripples of light are rippled through creation. That is how pivotal you are, and why none of those that be in power want you to remember that. Because they want you to tap into their drugs. They want you to tap into how they've boxed you and how they've claimed you to be as a diagnosis. Well, we're going to be rewriting it, and there's nothing they can do to stop it. They just can't. If they choose to stop it, they will be pulled out. We won't be fucked with anymore. We have our common sense of who we are now. We have claimed our energy. We have claimed our vibrations. We get to choose to ascend. And every single person, when you walk through your day, I choose the maximum of optimization of who I am. Claim your optimization. Tell the universe, I'm ready for new codes. I'm ready to be aligned with God in a new way. I'm ready to hear myself in new speech. I'm ready for my spirit to speak through me because my chakras have just been upgraded. I've remembered who I am from the Pleiades. And then anchor it to the ground. Anchor it to the 5D grids. Because you're tapping higher and higher into your consciousness. And they didn't want you to know that. They didn't want you to see that. And you, part and parcel, gave into it. You said, I want to play this game of separation. Let's play. I'm going to forget all about who I am as a celestial, alien, galactic, archangel, being, and a fairy, and a gnome, and all these things that I am, and all these other consciousness. I'm going to forget about it, and I'm going to wake up. And you went through so much dogmatic brainwashing to who you are not. Giving your power away to these beings that don't care about you, don't even know about you. Their chakras aren't turned on and clued in. How are they going to tell you what a chakra is? They have no idea about their own chakras. That's how you know someone's tapped in and turned on, because the light is flowing. The God energy is flowing, the God energy is flowing, the God energy is flowing. Your chakras are turned on. Your chakras are spiraling. All that you are is divine feminine, divine masculine. You are balanced. You are balanced. You are balanced. You are balanced. And there's a new version of you you get to choose. And you are absolutely aware of who you are. And that's when the information comes from absolutely nowhere and everywhere, because you know who you are. And you can speak anybody around the table, because they only know what they know from a book, and it means nothing to who you are, spirit. Again, many have been given great power and great money. What have they done with it? And that is blatant. And it will continue to be seen, and it will continue to be seen for the very sacred journey of not right and wrong, but it will be continued to be seen until every one of them face who they are and choose as their highest and their best to see themselves as godly if they wish. That is the reunion with God, as it was always meant to be. It's very simple, dear lighted ones. This is the journey of reunification. So how can you see anybody outside of you as separate from you? It is you reunifying with you. For you will meet a Pleiadian, you will meet a Sirian, you will meet a Cassiopean. You will meet those that don't have names about their speciesness. And they are tall, and they are beautiful, and they are yellow, and they are gray, and they are dark green, and they are green, and they are blue, and they are silver, and they are light, and they are transparent, and they are movable energies, and they are blobs, and they are gnomes, and they are fairies, and they are elementals. But why does your consciousness, and why does your social experiences, and why do your schools, and why do your medicines, and why does nothing outside of you ever show you who you are? Doesn't that have to be questioned, dear lighted ones? The most profound question of 2023. We want you to play with this until the end of the year. Why does everything outside of you never shown you who you are? Why is there no discussions about your chakras, dear lighted ones, until you have to go seeking for it? Why is nobody talking about the magnificence of your chakras? Why is nobody talking about the vibrations that you get when you're in presence of the omnipresence and you're activating and engaging in the omnipresence? The God has always been there. Do you not see what we're saying, delighted ones? They've wanted you to believe that God was not there. God's here, God here, God here. God here, God here, God here, God here, God's everywhere. Do you see what we're saying? You just haven't been told or taught. We're teaching you that. But what good does that do when they've shut down the platforms? Because they've given you no voice. They've said you're not important. We don't want humanity knowing about those profound things about being psychic or intuitive or knowing or tapped in or threaded. We don't want them to know about that. We want them to be small so that we can keep feeding them drugs. Keep telling them that they're small so we can put chips in their brains. No, you are the highest intelligence. Joanna just showed you she can tap into the 7th dimension. What else do you need, delighted ones? What proof do you need? My goodness, we've given you master after master after master, and what have you done? You've treated each other with bullying. How is that okay for you? The greatest question between now and the end of the year, delighted ones. Why has nothing outside of you shown you who you are? Because you forgot. You chose to forget. So we place very special beings before you to remind you vibrationally, emotionally, intellectually, dynamically. Every religion has a master within it that knows that all is all. You've placed them in those religions. That's your choice. They came as an all-being of God. They came as masters of the divine. There is no religion for a master. They're all. They know they're all. We place special beings before you to know that things can be healed. Things can be seen as new. You can feel yourself as the dynamic being of light. Who said you couldn't? And if anybody tells you that first contact and the merging and the harmonization and the interaction and the integration, all of those things, it will happen whether one likes it or not. Because there is a master plan for evolution and unity and diversity in that unity. And each and every one of you get to navigate that path on your own. Seek the God within on your own. Or not. Either way, the unification will occur. It's up to you how much joy you have in the process. We're going to keep putting light workers before each and every one of you in each and every one of ways. And then there will be aspects of density before you. That's the game you wanted to play. It's all still you. But heaven forbid, dear lighted ones. Stop the bullying. Stop the tactics. It's all you. We're placing these beings before you to remind you, you are all. You come from all planets. You come from all spaces and places. There will be no more wars. And any leader that says this is going to be a war, then they're not tapped in at all. Why would you place bombs over your own family? Why would you sacrifice your own family? Why would you choose to take money so that your own family can be taken out? Because they might not see or believe or say things you want them to say. This is how blatant it has got, dear lighted ones, and it's being shown to you in every way. And we've said over and 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 over, through every channeler and every master that comes before you. Are you ready to wake up now? Are you ready to know that God is all things? God is in all ways that you can pray. And there are universal rules because we want you to, dear lighted ones, know that you affect the all. And these are not punishments at all, dear lighted ones. They are just the way that creation works. As you are within, it will be without. And if you go above, and as high as you want to go is above, is infinite, dear lighted ones. And you can bring it down into this now moment and create something very, very miraculous. Or not. You can stay stuck and stagnant in old beliefs that you are nothing, that you are this and you are that, and keep victimizing yourself, and you will be victimized. Or not. Do you see how infinite these choices are? But we're giving it to you in very blatant words. You are all alien. You are all celestial, and you have to remember the story of you. It is only unique to you, just like your DNA. Your DNA story, your sequencing is just for you. It's for you and God to bring to life anew. Nobody writes your story for you. And start politely sending away those that choose to write your story because they don't have any right. So reclaim your power and reclaim your will. This is the planet that is sovereign and free, and she will be. And there are no beings, there are no powers that have the say over Gaia's plan in her soul's blueprint. They will not write her blueprint. Gaia is a sovereign goddess of this galaxy, and she does have her vibration. And it is very powerful and loving for all of her people. And that has been mistaken. There has been very greedy beings on your planet that want to own every aspect of her. Like she's being raped right in front of your noses. Are you awake, dear lighted ones? These are the things that you will face in these coming years. Are you ambassadors of your own energy? Are you ambassadors of your light? Are you ambassadors of your truth? Are you ambassadors of oneness? For your planet, she is speaking with you through you. And those of you that understand planetary language, like Joanna, there is a biospheric energy and a song that she plays to you any moment that you choose to tap in, if you so wish. The energies are always there. God is always there. God is always here. God is always everywhere. God is. That's what we want you to play with between now and the end of the year. God is everywhere. God is everywhere. God is all, everywhere. Source is all. You don't have to look up to the heavens, if you will. No, heavens is now, here, now, here, now, here, now, here. Heavens is the oceans. Heavens is the forest. Heavens is your heart. Heavens is your home. Heavens is your next door neighbor. Do you see what we're saying, dear lighted ones? Put down the boundaries and the borders and the silly little rules. Heaven is now. How many masters do we need to send you, dear lighted ones? Let go of the boxes and the checks that you want to fit people in. Let go. You are meant to be unique. You are meant to be vivacious. You are meant to be vibrant. For God is all things. God can change your DNA. God can change your sequencing. Stop taking on the rules and the games and the blasphemy of lineages before you. You're here to transcend that. Who said you weren't? I'm telling you, these are new rules for 2024. You are psychic. God is. Hallelujah. This is what you've been waiting for, dear lighted ones. Not to be placed in another box. There is no box for 2024. There is no box. God is all. God is in the room of the Satans praying to an underground deity. God's there. God's everywhere. God's in the breath. God's in the tongue. God's in the cells. Does that make sense, dear lighted ones? We would not be here if there was not God. God is the breath. God is the minutia of life, of intention, of your focus, of your direction. How may you direct new earth? How may you direct new earth? Peace, love, unity, coming together in your diversity and making something work. Through allowance, through forgiveness, How quickly can you forgive? And if you can't, that's okay. Don't judge yourself. Be gentle, be soft. Go to that wound. Why can you not forgive? Because of the part of you have not forgiven yourself. Forgive yourself. God's already forgiven you 10 times over. Do you see how much God loves you? God loves you for throwing that piece of garbage on the ground. And Guy has forgiven you. So go pick it up and put it back in the garbage where it belongs. Just like your beliefs you can let go of. Pick up that belief and let it go. You don't need it anymore. Put it in the garbage. That's not who you are. And those people that bring you down, those are not people that you want to be with anymore. So put them down. Put them away. Say goodbye. I'll see you later. You stay where you are at. Stay in your pacing. Stay in your vibration. But I want to move away. I'm going to go away somewhere nice and kind. Because I choose to be nice and kind. I'm going to create it. You're not going to give it for somebody else for them to do. You do it on your own. That's how show you are godly. Because I said, what do we say? What do we say? What do we say? The greatest question of the year that will allow you to awaken in every new moment. God is now, God is here. God is now, God is here. Celebrate it, anchor it, live it, speak it. That prepares you for meeting you in every way that you are to be met. In every form, in every way, in every circumstance, in every experience, you are a God. Does that make sense, dear lighted ones? The tree before you is God. Just in a different form and vibration it chose to take. That tree has its choice. Make no mistake, trees have consciousness. Make no mistake about that, they hold great healing power. And you have treated them like a resource, which is fine. But you will have a different respect for them when you become an ambassador of your planet. Because that's oneness, dear lighted ones. Your planet will respond to you as you respond to it. Again, that's a universal law. The light workers are not responsible for everything that unfolds that is bad. They are merely the voice of what is universal law. So leave the light workers alone, and you will be shown to leave the light workers alone. Because they need love and support, and they need the protection so that they can go about their business. Speaking of universal laws and higher wisdoms. For that is what you need. The exploration of who you are as a higher intelligent being, so that you can release the lower vibrational laws that kept you stuck and stifled and placed in boxes you don't belong. You don't belong in those boxes, and you know you don't, because you fight it every day. You know that you do. You're fighting the boxes all within yourself. That's why you feel so anxiety-filled. That's why you feel so anxious sometimes, because you're fighting boxes inside of you. Those are your boxes. You placed them there. Take them off. Just like taking off your socks every day. That doesn't belong to you no more. Take it off. Acknowledge it. Accept it and say, no, I'm going to allow something new. Because I know the 3 A's of ascension. I know how I am as an alchemist. I know who I am. I can change my vibration just in a minute. That's why my voice changes. Because I'm calling on any aspect of me that I want to. Because I get to. I'm performing as an aspect of God. Don't you like me now? God made me this way and I'm okay with it. You don't like it? You can turn off. Go find somebody else. Because this is who I am. I'm going to own it. I know who I am. I'm a universal being, and I'm here to remind you. Every single one of you got God in you. Every single one of you. You're either going to love it, and you're going to forgive it, and you're going to be compassionate because it's your marriage with God, and it never goes away. You just got to choose it. Has nothing to do with religion, never did. You boxed yourself in a religion because you wanted to experience the box. But you can let go of the box. It's all about unpacking for Christmas. What you going to unpack for Christmas, dear lighted ones? Get out of the box. Who are you today? I'm a vast being of light, and I want to unpack myself all brand new. Every day I get up, I'm unpacking. Every day I get up, I'm unpacking, and I'm seeing everybody else is unpacking themselves. So I'm going to be a little bit compassionate and fair with them. Because if they're fair with me, I'm going to be fair with them and vice versa. Because I see everybody as one. That's God. That's a fractal of God looking back at me. What you showing me today? What you showing me today? What are you showing me that I got to accept? What are you showing me that I'm going to learn about? And I'm going to say, yeah, that's you. I love you just as you are. And I'm going to move on my story. You move on yours, and I wish you well. Why can't you be like that, dear lighted ones? And if you can, hallelujah and celebrate. So be compassionate with your loved ones, dear lighted ones. They have their own pacing and their own beliefs. You're not meant to change anybody. That's not the goal. You're here to simply be the vibration of you. And it's going to change. You want to unpack. Take a look at your Christmas tree, and we just say it doesn't matter how you celebrate. It can be a forest, it can be the ocean, it can be wherever you want. We want you to get this visualization. You're in this beautiful space in this beautiful Christmas time, and the snow is falling outside, and you're in a beautiful, beautiful living room with floor-to-ceiling windows. And you're on a big comfy couch, and you see this beautiful 12-foot Christmas tree. And you don't have to have any religion to sit in front of a tree. And we're just saying, just sit and take a breath. And you see the tree glistening, and it's got lights from top to bottom and bottom to top and side to side. And you're feeling all warm and snuggly, and you hear the children playing in the background. Oh, the beautiful children all playing in the background. Love you, children. And you got the Christmas music going, and the fire is a-crackling. And you look at the tree from top to bottom, and you see little presents stuck here and there. You see little bigger presents stuck here and there. You see candy canes and little sparkly gadgets and gidgets and bobbits. And you see the homemade little decorations hanging everywhere. And it doesn't matter, again, what your religion is to sit in front of a tree. It's okay to decorate your house. It's okay to decorate and be glistening. We're giving you a metaphor, dear lighted ones. And you look down the tree and you see presents of all kind, because you've had everybody and their dog come in and place a present beneath the tree. And you've done your own wrapping and you've done your own presenting. You put bows and ribbons and different colors and all sizes are under that tree. Make sure you really tune into the real tiny little presents inside the tree. Little tiny ones, tiny, tiny little presents. You can't even imagine there's a present inside that thing. It's so tiny. And it's stuck way in the middle of the tree, close to the very center of that tree. Some are out on the branches and some are way in there, really tiny little presents. And bigger ones and odd-shaped ones and long ones and skinny ones and fat ones and round ones. And big ones that are pushed against the wall that nobody can imagine what's inside. Big presents and square ones and rectangles and triangles and octagons, and it's all wrapped in the best present paper you can find. Glistening and glowy and silvery and goldy and reddy and bluey and greeny, whatever color you want. See that tree glisten and feel everybody in the house laughing and having love. Just in that moment, everybody's meeting for love. Then you say, wow, I just accepted this beautiful experience of all shapes and sizes and colors and all hues and all glistening in the tiniest of packages and the biggest of packages. And I just accepted it and I'm just having fun. And I imagine that under each and every one of that wrapped gift that God has offered you in that day, that you've chosen to pick out yourself and others have chosen to pick out for you, within it is very special. It was made with great detail, with great intent, with great meaning, with great purpose, with great soul blueprints, each and every one of them. And each and every one of them have their place. Each and every one of them would not make Christmas what Christmas is if they didn't have their place in and around and within and over and around that tree. But you see, God's garden, dear lighted ones. God's garden is every tree. God's garden is every ocean. God's garden is this planet that He gave you and she gave you for the birthing of all that is. For the mother is the breath of all life. And the plan and the design of that tree came together with everybody's efforts. And what's inside of each gift is up to each and every one of you. Barring no religion and barring no borders and what side of the family you sit on, doesn't matter when you just know that within everything and everyone there is a gift. Can you see beyond the wrapping, dear lighted ones? Can you see beyond the wrapping? Can you see even the smallest of trinkets can have its most special place in your heart? We want you to go deeper this year, dear lighted ones. There's God in everything and everyone. And it has nothing to do with what you thought you were taught or told, because nobody showed you anything about your chakras and how beautiful your root chakra is as a gift and how beautiful your sacral chakra is, or your heart chakra, and every shape and size and every color it comes in. For that's how dynamic you are, and every analogy and every story and every metaphor we can fit in, we will fit it in to let you know that everything is diverse in creation and everybody's got its place. Every piece of the puzzle is meant to be. Don't discount everyone, dear lighted ones, for it's you. For that tree wouldn't be that tree if that little special gift way inside that nobody knew was there until all the gifts were unwrapped and unpacked, and then just as you're ready to put the tree away, that last little gift is found. And there's a reason why that happens every Christmas. There's a reason why something is always left out. Think about that, dear lighted ones. It happens in all your families, and you know you do. When you're cleaning things up and you're putting things away, you find something in your car, under your seat. You find something in your house or in a drawer, or in a pocket or in your purse, or somewhere that you thought you already cleaned it up and you'd already give something out, and then there's always something, always something, always something. Why is that, dear lighted ones? Sort that out for yourself, for there's a reason. There's always that one little gift that everybody forgot about, that nobody thought was ever a gift. There's always that one little thing that is so easy to look over. It's so easy to say, that'll amount to nothing. What is that going to amount to? Nobody heard anything from them. Why are they coming forward? We never saw anything. They're not going to amount to nothing. We're going to look right over this one. Whether it be a land or a water, or a home or a child, or a divine feminine or an animal. We've all had our moments of overlooking something that's godly right before you. All is godly, dear lighted ones, as you're sitting down for your dinners. Don't be so quick to overlook those that you know are so important, for they bring the biggest lessons of who you are. And so many times you've discounted them as being small and unimportant because they didn't suit your vibration, or they didn't suit your home scenery. They didn't fit in. Who said they were supposed to? Because don't you know, God is the biggest trickster. Santa Claus is that God that will bring something unexpected. It's meant to be unexpected. Isn't that the point? For it's always the ones you overlook. It's always the ones you discount. It's always the ones you count out. It's always those ones that you say will never be nothing, that they become something. Because God wants you to always, always, always know that everybody before you is God. Archangels in every one of you. Show your leaders, show your politicians, show everybody that you are seeing everyone before you. And be grateful for every moment. Don't count anybody out, dear lighted ones, for everybody is a special piece of this God's puzzle. And ain't nobody has any right or power or will to say that nothing that small can shine, nothing that strange, nothing that weird in its expression. No, it's gonna shine even brighter because it's gonna remind you of that thing inside of you that you forgot. That godly part of you that said you are unique and you are divine and authentic and genuine. When are you gonna start shining? We show you these aspects because you're not meant to forget anything before you. They're an aspect of you. The shiny ones, the dull ones, the dark ones, and the light ones. The twinkly lights and the lights that get burnt out. It's all you. How may you see your Christmas tree this season, dear lighted ones? How may you sit down at your table and look everybody in the eye and know they are the heart of God? How may you know that you have lifetimes with them as partners and brothers and sisters and mothers and aspects of your mentorship on other planets? We are preparing you, dear lighted ones, for full unity and oneness. Can you integrate these very special lessons and moments? These are vibrational teachings of the Christos. And why you have named Christmas, Christmas. For there are so many special lessons and stories. And it truly is about being together. In all of your diversity, in all of your strangeness, in all of your wonderment, in all of your dialects of who you are. That is the glory of God. And that, dear lighted ones, is the epitome of grace. And so they're showing me a beautiful vision right now. Thank you if you've all managed to stay this long. I didn't realize how dark it was. They're showing me this beautiful Christmas tree and the light at the very top, the sparkle. The Christmas tree at the very, very top is glowing. Just as I said that, it made me cry. This beautiful 12-foot Christmas tree and this beautiful star that was just going on and off as God was saying that's the epitome of grace. So I'm so very grateful. Hello, Diamond. I'm just so very grateful to have that story presented to all of you, because we all have stories like that with our families, and how so many of us have been discounted and so many of us have been written off. How many times have we all been written off of our our own life story? You know, no victimization here, but how many times have we written ourselves off of our own life story? And how many times have we not wanted to get up the next day and kind of fulfill our soul's destiny of speaking our truth, clearing our throat chakras, and really speaking that beautiful voice of spirit that we each are. So don't count yourself out. You're meant to be unique. You're meant to be dynamic. You're meant to be profoundly excellent in who you are. And know that, have that visualization of the Christmas tree before you. There's so much in there. There was a bunch of codes that were going down in that story that I showed you. And each and every one of you will get your own story of uniqueness in those celestial codes. So just know that as well. Anytime that I do a story or my channeling like that, there's always celestial alien codes, Christic codes that are meant for each and every one of you, that if you so desire, because you have to tap into those codes. It's like they said, unpacking. When you unpack the present, usually it's what's been overlooked. Usually it's been, I know when I get gifts for people that I always put so much meaning into my gifts. I always remember conversations throughout the year. I remember the things they've looked at, the things they've thought was special to them. I always put a lot of those energies into my gift giving. I'm a very generous person. I'm always giving gifts. I'm always giving things to show my love and appreciation. And so just know that there's so much packed in that story that I just offered to you. So please listen to it again and share it with your family. Please send feedback to YouTube about my accounts being unnecessarily blocked. The more feedback that they get will help us when we do take them to court. And so we love you so very much. And we hope that you enjoyed this beautiful celestial open night mic. I feel so very happy, and I feel so very blessed. I feel so very peaceful and really fulfilled right now. So I wish you very many blessings. I know many of you are going to have beautiful celestial. Oh, what they wanted to say, I don't know, because I can't remember what I channeled, but they're just showing me this is a remembrance. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see that. They know they have mailed LED lights all over the house. What did you say, Spirit? Go back to that memory. Oh, yeah. So those of you that so desire, again, it's all about your intention. Those of you that so desire, in your dreams over the next week, your teams and your celestials will those ask, because when I speak as a channel in those experiences, and that's why my dialect changes, my accent changes, is because they're the alien aspects of you. They're your higher selves, your teams, your guides, the angels. All of those beings are aspects of you. They are showing you they were telling me to remind you that in your dreams of the next coming week, you're going to have those lovely experiences of you meeting your celestial teams. So that's what they're showing me. And again, I try to explain and express some of how they look. But again, based on, remember, where you're at with your consciousness, how much light you've integrated, how much you've integrated about your wholeness and your diversity will be the exact measure to how you're allowing them present themselves to you. So if you're in a big fear factor about alien celestials and you haven't done a lot of diversity integration, they're going to be as much humanoid and as easy possible for them to connect with you, because their job is, and their role, they would never ever want to be freaking you out with how they look, because some of them, like me, I'm used to seeing insectoids. I love seeing insectoids. It doesn't bother me to see an 8-foot spider. None of that freaks me out, because these are just part of my family. I work with these beings, right? I'm used to their energies. I love all of my celestial teams, regardless of how they look. So I'm used to it because I've been doing this for like 16 years. And I was doing it as a child too. I just went into repression. So just know that your consciousness, again, open, and I did a piece today in my thing, practice over the next little while. Open is a vibration you can practice. Being closed is a vibration you can practice. And just feel how it feels to be both, right? When you're in a closed experience, that means you're shut off with beliefs, you're limited, you're judgmental, you're living in separation, you're living in fear, discrimination. All of those are closed vibrations. Competition is a very closed vibration. Competition breeds aggression. And that's where a lot of the underground cults and a lot of the agendas and things, they breed that. They breed separation within humanity. And then they feed on people having challenges and fights with one another. They breed that. That's how the devil likes to work. And it's all very purposeful because it allows you to stand in your power and see peace anyways. So that knows that you can still be truly masterful. So there's always going to be that equal, light, dark experience, but practice the closed vibrations and open vibrations. And when you're doing your healing work, intend open vibrations of receiving, because the more open vibrations you are receiving, which is allowance and sacredness and excitement or joy or love, all of those are open vibrations. The more that you do that, you're automatically allowing a greater basket of source energy, Christic energy to flow through you. And if you walk with that intention throughout your day, it doesn't matter who you come across with, those open vibrations will just automatically transmute any negative energy around you. So know that. Feel confident that your light capacity, that your openness to carry light and be light just cancels out anything that is negative. And then you navigate around it because you now know and understand, ascension energies. And also what is important about that open energy that we just talked about, that we tie in together. I'm giving you a huge ascension class, so go away and make notes after this, and then sit and just absorb and receive the codes. So when I offer a video, there's 2 or 3 things that you can do with it. Listen to it again and make notes, right? And then that's doing the work. That's doing your ascension work, because things will be pulled out in the video that you didn't catch when you first listened to it. That's doing the work. That's doing ascension work. That's what I do every day. When I watch a video, I make notes, and then I go to my books. I go to my studies. I channel, I ask spirit, and then I come up with a new resolve. I come with a new perspective. That's seeing things from all angles. That integration and that light capacity of being open allows you to, again, mesh what they showed me earlier. 2024 will be meshing that new psychic, tangible psychic experience, because as they showed me in that experience of this video, what I experienced in this video was unlike what I had experienced before. The energies are in your face, the celestial cosmic energies, which I love. Some people are not ready for that, but that's why I told you the story about the Christmas tree and the stories about the different beings that I can explain to you. I'm preparing you to meet yourself as an alien. And so you've never been told that or taught that, so it can bring fear, it can bring triggers. So dance with the triggers. Sort the triggers out, write it out, dance it out, create it out. That's ascension. Have fun with it. Have fun with God. Get on stage with God. Play it with God. Be the expression of God. Have this fun as your multiverse, multi-soul faceted experience. That's what you're meant to do. We're meant to play. We're meant to have fun as being these intuitive, dynamic, intelligent beings. The more that you do that, that's an open energy. You're going to be healing automatically. How we're going to be healing in 2024 is not going to be how we've done it for the past 30 years. We're just not. It's going to be a whole different ballgame, because, as I said earlier, the light and the capacity of codes that is in our air is going to be like nothing we've experienced before. And that's why we're going to be seeing, as they said earlier, the light workers are not at fault for anything. They're simply speaking the energy of the new fields. They're speaking the energy of what the stories are in everything that is matter, because they can sense it, they can feel it. They're speaking godly. So again, it's understanding a higher vibrational creational reality. And so it's just a matter of understanding these new aspects of higher vibration. And then your integration of that light will come with your minutia of allowing yourself to be an expanded version of God, because God is everything, God is all things. So work with those open experiences of enmeshment with God, of your experience with God, of your enmeshment with God, of your experience of all things with God. So allow that open. So 2024 is going to be an open year of manifestation. So that's what the Infinity 8 is. It's a flowing, just imagine the infinity throughout your year. It's a flowing year of manifestation, right? That's what the 8 is. It's a flowing, equal experience of transmuting, opening, and accepting all as diversity. Don't count anyone or anything out. God would never, ever, ever, God would never, ever count any person, ever. God would never, ever do that. Even if somebody was on their deathbed with the most horrible disease, God, in all of God that God is, creating galaxies and planets greater than Jupiter, God would never, ever, ever count anybody out. So why would we? See what I'm saying? That's where we gotta catch up with God here, because God can create planet Jupiter like a breath. We know how big planet Jupiter is. I mean, there's planets bigger than Jupiter. God created galaxies and pulsars and quasars and quarks. Anybody that has anything that could seem so horrible, don't ever count anything out. This planet is profound, and she is gracious, and she is godly. And we are going to manifest transformation on this planet where there will be no more wars. Manifest peace, manifest intending love, manifest intending acceptance, manifest intending the acceptance of all that is strange and diverse, because we are. Manifest peace, manifest abundance, manifest health. God would never, ever, ever, not even for an ounce, not even for a moment or a second or a quark, ever count anything out. That's the intention. Everyone is coming along for the ride. It is up to everyone's free will. Never count yourself out. Get up and get in there and start playing. So, dear lighter ones, we're going to sign off. We love you! Our donation button is below. It's always in my videos, so we would love any donations. And we love you all. Merry holidays, merry happiness, merry everything, rainbows and hugs and tickles. We love you! Merry holidays. Bye.